Hey all, welcome back. This is Dino the Ops Guy, and this is Production Management in Practice, or Stardew Production Management 101. It's a course in production management where we start with what happens in the operation rather than some sort of textbook or table of contents, and then we work out to say that what you need to know in that situation, and that sort of creates the production management course organically. This is episode 45. So there are 44 episodes that precede it. You don't have to see the 44 episodes. It wouldn't hurt. But it's really meant to be sort of a day by day. If you showed up to the factory, what could we teach you on that day? There's some threads that go through it. For the most part, they're independent. So we try and come up with topics that are relevant to what's going on in the factory. And the topic today, if there is a specific daily topic, I just want to talk about lean and quality. This is sort of my forte. So lean came from the Toyota production system, which came from Ticciona says it really came from what he observed from Henry Ford and from J.W. Ed Demings. It really is rooted in North American, the reaction to mass production, and gets down to, well, how do you do that in a country where there's not a lot of resources? Let's face it, Japan's got a whole bunch of rocks, a whole bunch of ocean, maybe some seaweed, some sushi, but they don't have the resources of, let's say, Germany or Canada, the U.S. So what do? They have to do what they can. And that led to a specific sort of mentality or a specific approach to manufacturing that became known as lean manufacturing. And it doesn't just apply to manufacturing, it applies to services. So we just call it lean now. And it was part of the quality movement. And the quality movement in manufacturing doesn't really refer to the quality of the product per se, as much as how can we affect it as a manufacturer to set that quality in motion. So it really has a lot more to do with conformance. Do we follow the print? Do we do it in the speed that we need to? Does it have the finish that is required, that we know is required, even if we can't get a specific metric for that finish? Or that, if it's a food product, that taste. So it really becomes more about standardization and repetition and that sort of thing. And there's two words that come up in it. One is value, and value is anything the customer is willing to pay for. So there's a lot of things that we do to change the form, fit, or function of a manufactured product, or in some cases, we can apply that to a service product. And if the customer is willing to pay for that, great. If I'm a laundry and I'm ironing shirt, the customer wants an iron shirt, they're willing to pay for it. The time that we put in is value added. Maybe it's too expensive, maybe it's really cheap, whatever the case. But the point is that activity has value as the customer is willing to pay for it in the product. Anything that we do that adds cost or any sort of productivity to a product that the customer is not willing to pay for is called waste. So, and we'd like to say we get rid of all waste, but most process is waste because really it's anything, if I have to, if I have the laundry, the washers over there and the irons over there, we got to move the product. The customer doesn't care that we're moving the product. We still got to do it. That's just the way it is. So there is a lot of waste in the process. We try to reduce that waste. Ideally, we try to eliminate that waste, but very seldom do we get a chance to eliminate that waste. But this process of getting to reducing, not eliminating waste, one of the tricks we use is called a Kaizen event. And Kaizen is a Japanese word that comes out of the Toyota production system, TPS. That really means continuous improvement, which is a bit unfortunate because usually a Kaizen event has a beginning and an end, and it's not really continuous. So really the translation in this case means more smaller, incremental. And the advantage of this is anytime you do a change, the bigger the change, the harder it is to push through for the people. So the idea being, if we do a small change, an incremental change, then the change management becomes a bit easier, especially if we involve the people who will be doing the difference, making the different changes. So it becomes less of a thou shalt change, and becomes more of a I would like to change kind of thing. So usually they're 2 or 3 day events where we get the front line involved, as many different departments as possible, get a lot of insight, and just focus on bite-sized problems that we can fix in 2 or 3 days. Focus on waste elimination. We focus on process standardization. We focus on root cause analysis, defect visibility, or any other metrics visibility. And this plan, do, check, the short cycle, where we'll look at what the problem is, plan on what we're going to do, try it, go and see what impact it had, positive or negative, partial or full, and then act based on that to say, do we do the cycle again? Do we basically instill what improvements we've had, sort of along those lines. So it becomes cyclical and does become more of a continuous improvement thing. But again, Kaizen events are a bit defeatist from the standpoint that they're only 2 or 3 days long, so they can't really be continuous per se, as much as they do espouse a continuous principle. So one of the things they do look at is the 7 wastes: transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, overprocessing, overproduction, and defects. Colloquially, conveniently, we call these TIMWOOD, because the acronym TIMWOOD sort of works out for transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, overprocessing, overproduction, and defects. And this is a good and a bad thing. This is great from the standpoint that if you're doing a Kaizen event, you already have a focus of what we're going to try to improve. You really have a lot of people involved trying to make it better. So we can use this as a bit of a brainstorming approach to say, are we doing any kind of transportation that we probably shouldn't be doing? Are we moving product? Are we moving people? Is there some sort of transference of product that we can eliminate? Do we have too much inventory? Can we reduce the inventory, because any extra inventory is just waste? Is there any motion? Are there hand motions or activities that are superfluous? Is there any waiting for product? Is there any places where we should have been done and we should have figured we're done, but we're going to keep going just because we don't know we're done yet? Do we produce too many, or are there any defects? And we use that as the basis for how do we make whatever the focus of the Kaizen event is better. Now, this is sort of the gold standard, the main principle. There was a book that was written when Lean first came out called The Machine That Changed the World. And it was a fantastic book. It exposed the world to what was going on in business in Japan, in manufacturing circles, specifically in Toyota. And it basically outlined an existential problem for North American automotive, because Toyota was coming up and quickly taking over a lot of the market. However, the authors took a bit of liberty and they started changing things as a consultant would, so that it sounds like it's their product and not part of the Toyota production system, whatever. And then, they'll make a little more money because they're the ones selling it. So, for example, out of the lean.com group, they came up, I think it was Womack, came up with the 8 wastes, and the 8th one being underutilized skills. And I'm thinking, that's just another way of saying overhead costs. It's one of those things you don't have to, or probably want to, use every single skill that every person has in your building. That's not a waste. The customer's not paying for them. it's like having, and even if you could prove that they were, the reaction doesn't make a lot of sense from the standpoint. If I have let's say we have a car in the parking lot that we use once a week for emergency deliveries. So you're saying, well, we're only using that car once a week. Could we use it 7 days a week and basically generate more emergency deliveries? Well, that doesn't help. It doesn't make sense. It's not a waste we want to focus on. So if you want to look at, and again, going back to the people who started this Toyota production system, the 7 ways: transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, overprocessing, overproduction, and defects, you're going to be in good stead. I would not, and this is another caution, another caveat, I would not stand, I've been told this is a good thing to do, I would not stand on the corner, in your factory and just looking for, oh, this person did too much transportation, oh, person did too much inventory, oh, this person did too much motion, because we're not looking for problems. We are looking for, here's the focus we are going, and this is the nice thing about the Kaizen event. We actually have a focus. It has to be this operation. This is the target we're looking for. And then we can apply this sort of waste understanding to it. To go scattershot and looking for the whole plant, for all the possible, you don't have a strategy, and you're usually, a change in transportation in one location, probably do a change in motion in another location that offset themselves, and you're really not helping yourself. So you got to start with a specific task, a specific target. Apply your 7 wastes, get into your plan, do, check, act, get into your standardized work, get into those types of things in a specific structured format, and you can get somewhere. So I think Av has some ideas on this, so he'll probably expand in his discussions when he's on the floor. But we do want to get to Av. Today is the 45th day because it's episode 45, and we kind of tie this together, at least for now. Harvest the crops. Pet the hens and process the eggs. We're going to try and get to Marnie's today. It is Wednesday, so Marnie's is open. Get some cows, get some ducks, and then if you have some free time, well, mine, of course, and if you have some free time, forage. And on that note, I am going to turn it over to you, Av. Take it away. Thanks, Dino. Okay, we're going to pet the cat. It's raining today, so weather's going to be beautiful tomorrow, though, and the spirits are very displeased. That's not good. But anyway, they're displeased. What can we do? Thank you for purchasing the coop upgrade. You can now incubate eggs, or I forget what it said, but something along those lines. We got some mushrooms, and we got some hops, and we got some oak resin. That's a good thing because we can apply that to kegs. Drop off the mushrooms, given that the thing is right there. So Dino was talking about Kaizen events. Yeah, it's one of those that it's a. So I find that Kaizen events, I want to say they're overused because it becomes like a fairy dust that people want to sprinkle on everything and say, oh, this needs improvement. Let's have a Kaizen event. That needs an improvement, and even. We'll get to the cows and the ducks. Well, I'll even have someone say, we need to look ahead, and can we do a Kaizen event for how we're going to feed the cows and the ducks? It's like, well, Kaizen event is getting all the people who know what's going on, who are in the trenches all the time, together to discuss it. No one's done this before. We're not going to do a Kaizen event about something nobody's done before. It's not a pro forma thing, but somehow people want to do it. But at the same time, as much as people come up with ideas where they want to use the Kaizen event and sort of propose it, very few people do. So maybe it's underused in that sense, but in any event. So if we are, looking for opportunities for Kaizen events, certainly we want to have a better transition, let's say, to the kegs, like we're over here on this side. So looking at what kind of motion that we're using to get over there, how much transportation is involved in moving the hops from where the hops are grown to the kegs themselves, that sort of thing. And then, the kegs are just a little out of view. So I'm not, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I don't get as far over to see that, that they're ready to be harvested. So if we could have them in a position or some sort of echo so that that was clear, that would be those types of things that we'd sort of focus on, and then get a Kaizen event to get everyone involved, like, me, Av, and maybe have a clone of Av, because it would be another me, and maybe get some of the hens involved. There's nobody here. It's just me. So I'd love to get a lot more people involved. But that's sort of the limitation of us doing this in Stardew Valley, that there's just the two of us, Dino, the ops guy, and Av on the ground. And once we get Av on the ground, we've run out of people on the ground. So that's okay. So we just bought 3 cows. They're all brown, so we tried to give them chocolate names. And we got a duck. I like to call the first duck Quack. Because, if you want to ask them what they should be named, they say Quack. So that's the way it is. Let's head over to the secret forest and fill up our coffers of hardwood. Every once in a while, it's nice to do that, especially early on, from the standpoint that we can get some mahogany seeds and plant them, and that helps us. There's a mahogany seed there. Helps us develop our grove so that we have hardwood going forward. Um, Normally, we would look at an opportunity. It's raining and we're in the forest. It'd be a good opportunity to go fishing, but the time really doesn't warrant it today, especially since the the luck is bad kind of thing. So yeah, we could probably spend some time and maybe get a catfish, but we're just going to move on and focus on other things. So one of them being taking that new mahogany seed and planting that. There's a couple things that'll give us mahogany seeds here. Let's see if we can get a couple more. Not that one, but I still like the fact of getting 10 hardwood. That's not a bad thing. Another 10, but no more mahogany seeds. What can we do? It's not going to be the end of the world. It is summer, so it's a nice time to sort of mow down the weeds. If we end up with mixed flower seeds, that's a good thing. So we will do a little more weeds than perhaps we would normally in spring or fall, just because we know that there's that opportunity for the mixed flower seeds while we're on our way. So we've cleared up a fair bit here. We apparently have some new things to sleep on. That's always nice. But let's plant our mahogany seed. Very good. At some point, we probably want to get rid of that one seed that's planted there in our way, because that's going to get in the way of our visibility. It is Wednesday, so we're not going to go to Pierre's to sell our stuff. We are going to do it through the shipper, which is okay. We've already spent pretty much everything we wanted to spend on our ducks and our cows. So it's not like we're trying to get new cash today to force something through. And we had a whole bunch of fiddleheads, so we just arbitrarily cut them in half. I think the 20 or so fiddleheads that we have left behind are more than enough to, if we're doing any sort of cooking or a quest, or even they're decent when we put them in jars and kegs if we run out of other stuff. Not that that's going to happen. We notice we have a ton of inventory there, probably too much inventory. The saying, better to be looking at it than looking for it, I agree with. But in manufacturing, certainly, in production management, having too much inventory sometimes gets in the way. The nice thing about Stardew Valley is it stays nice in that little box, no matter how big or how small it is. In the real world, we actually care how big or how small it is. I once worked at a transmission factory, and if we had too much inventory, you couldn't get through the aisles. It was just that big. So this is a nice situation in Stardew Valley. We don't have to deal with the issues of too much inventory on a level of physical space. So, and we got an opportunity to make another keg. We're going to take a hops to put it in it. We're up to 5, and we're going to try and grow that. Kegs and jars we want a lot of, especially given that we have the inventory, but just generally it works well with large crop, large kegs, large jars tends to be a good way to run things. I was going to go to Clint, but it's already 4:20. Clint's closed. That guy, part-timer guy, I don't understand. He doesn't work at all. What can we say? So we are going to take our palm thing and bring it back. So if I'm not mistaken, we are halfway through a quest for red jellies. So this is our attempt to find red jellies, so that when we do see Clint, not at work because he doesn't work anymore apparently, but in the saloon, because he does go to the saloon, then we can stop and talk to him about those, because I think it's $1,000 to finish the quest for red jellies. So that's going to be a good thing. And we have a jelly there that's just giving us a ton of problem. It's just bouncing all over the place. Let's take a look. 7 out of 8. We need one more. Let's finish this up. Good. It shouldn't be that hard to find another frost pink jelly. Is there? Is it the pink slime, red slime? There. Just got to deal with a crab first. Mr. Happy Legs. All right. All right, we got what we're looking for. Let's get out of Dodge. Let's take this chest along the way. Nothing in the chest, though. All right, so back into town. And I forget, I think, is it 6 or 7 that Clint leaves his... Oh, they're closed. Otherwise, it would have dropped off the palm fossil or the palm thing. So 6 or... Oh, there he is! Let's go talk to him. Hi, Clint. Give us... Uh-oh. Did we mess it up somehow? Oh, no, it's Mayor. The Mayor who wants this, not Clint. There he is. There. Okay, now we're going to get our reward of 1,000 sludge reward. All right, I confused those two. That's okay. We eventually got what we needed. Sometimes Ab gets confused. You gotta sort of accept that. But it all worked out this time. So let's make our way. We won't be able to sell this because clearly Willie is gone. But we can put it in the shipper, so that's going to take care of that. 9 o'clock. We probably should head back to the base, but we will stop. And oh, we also have Pam's gift. This is important. So we're going to give Pam her pale ale. She's not going to pay us squat for it though. Pale ale, I think, is worth 300, and she's giving us what? 35? Yeah. Okay. So we're just being nice. We're being nice to Pam. What can we do? We're nice people that way. So okay, let's head back to the farm. And essentially close things up. It's getting a bit late. We still have 4 hours, but as the clock goes, I guess. But that tends to go by pretty quickly. So, okay, we're going to dump. We're going to put that totem in the totem chest, which is also the minerals chest, which is also the sap chest, which are the syrup chest. So yeah, we'll get rid of that. Was an acorn. Okay, that's good to know. Get rid of the tree. So we're just looking for wood now. And getting wood and stone on the farm is sort of a crazy process. Maybe that's something we should put a Kaizen event together for. Having said that, the solution would probably be something along the line of let's plant all the trees in one spot, which we're kind of doing. It just takes a while for them to grow. So at some point we may want to fertilize those trees just to get that going, so we have one location. But given that we have random trees all over, it's probably just easier to knock down the random trees along the way while the good trees are growing, or the good location trees are growing. So it is after 12. We got to be a little careful about what we're doing here as far as time wise. So we'll sort of casually make our way back. Maybe one more tree. All right. I think, all right, one more tree, because the other wood was there. I think we are ready to head back. So it is 1:20. We probably have time to dump everything we need to dump. And if we have anything that goes in the shipper, maybe one more. No, we don't have anything that goes in the shipper. We're good. So we will kiln. That puts it at 1:30. We're not even going to look for mayonnaise or something. We're just going to bed now. Okay. So the poppy did really well, actually. I think it was like 150 for the poppy. I'm not sure. So day 18, the next day, it's going to be clear and sunny the next day. And the spirits are displeased again. What are we doing to displease the spirits? I don't know. Dino, if you can figure this out, this would be great. Okay, thanks, Av. I do not have any sway with the spirit, so I do not know what makes for lucky or unlucky days. But in any event, we got a fair bit done. Harvested the crops. We didn't have to water today because it was raining. That's a good thing. And then we pet the hens, got the cows and the ducks. 3 cows, 1 duck. We didn't get to the mine today. Well, we did for the red jellies, but we really didn't do a whole bunch of mining impact there. Didn't see anything on the forage side, which was kind of funny, but we did sort of get out and about. I mean, we did get the fiddlehead ferns, and I think selling off half the fiddlehead ferns, partly for inventory and partly just to get some cash flow, was a good idea. So that's good. Just looking back to the, I know we said we're not going to keep the foot on the gas for this project, but we still want to track of how it's going or where it's going, because it's just we're just extending the time. We're not necessarily canceling it. So today we got 6,582 G revenue, which is better than the target, which was excellent. Of course, we spent 5,700 on it. So at this point, if we walked into Robbins tomorrow, we'd need 6,000 more just to make the big barn. We'll see what happens, but that I don't think that's in the cards. We're not going to press for that. If Av sees a way to make that work, we'll leave that with Av. But we're assuming that the barn is not going to be ordered tomorrow and maybe the next day. So we got 259 wood compared to the target of 158, so we're above on wood. The trajectory is steeper than the blue line. That purple is going up faster than the blue dotted line, so that's a good sign. And we got 80 stone compared to 20. Again, we're above that blue line, so that purple line is making me happy. But all in all, we're just going to delay on the big barn. The original plan, because we thought it would take 2 days to make the big coop, was to do the barn tomorrow, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to wait on that. Happy to have spent the money on the iridium rod. Happy to have spent the money on the 3 cows and the 1 duck. They will return. But we'll get some return for that. But other than that, hopefully you're getting something out of this. This is, if you have any comments as far as how to make this better, then please put those in. Other than that, we hope to see you in the next episode. This is Dino the Ops Guy signing off.